folding you.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Today is Tuesday, the 27th of June. So yeah, this will be our last few streams of the month. June's been good so far. Nothing crazy, but yeah, we're sitting at a nice level here. We actually took a loss last night on we took this during the stream, which was a small win, and then we actually had a loss on gold. Which we managed pretty well, but yeah, that's I mean, it's just another trade. But yeah, we did take a loss last night. But yeah, so for the week we're down pretty much break even, but we're down about 2-3 pips, so pretty happy with that. I'll run you guys through that trade in a sec. But for now, in terms of what we're looking at here, so we can see GJ's pushing above these levels. Let's start on the daily with GJ. So yesterday we closed pretty much doji, didn't really go anywhere. We pushed, rejected, pushed down, rejected, and now we're pushing bullish. Okay, so 4 hour we can see we've come up, we've got no bottom wick. Okay, which doesn't mean that this is going to reverse. It's just, it makes me a bit sort of iffy about longs, especially because we're at all-time highs since 2016. So is it 2016? I believe it's 2016. Let me double check. When was the last time we were here? 2015. Yeah, so a long time ago we were last here. And yeah, the last few times GJ's broken out of an all-time high, it sort of pushed, came back, and then pushed again. If you have a look at your charts, like, we've been pushing all-time highs, not all-time highs, but highs for a long time. And GJ pushed and then came back and then pushed again. It hasn't broken out of an all-time high and then just continued straight away. So it will be interesting. But the other thing to think about is the 1 hour has barely created a bottom wick. We have a 2.5 pip bottom wick on the hourly. Okay, so there's a lot of things sort of not saying that this is a high probability setup. We got no bottom wick on the 4 hour. We have the hourly barely creating a bottom wick. Although the 15-minute and the 30-minute does look good, I think for me personally, I'm going to wait for a pullback. You know, and if this goes, it goes, so be it. I'm sure later in the day, there will at least be an opportunity of a pullback and then a break back above. And then I'm going to look to take buys. But for me, this hourly bottom wick is just not enough. Because when you think about it, technically, there's no pullback. It's just been a push, and it doesn't mean it's just gonna come back, but there's a decent chance I think we could grab liquidity or pull back here. We see no bottom wick, barely a bottom wick, but in saying that, I've seen this happen and price just continues straight away. So let's see, maybe we come back down now and create a bottom wick. That'll be great, and then we can have buys. But yeah, for now, we're just going to be chilling and seeing what happens here. We don't have any news, I don't believe. Do we? Euro news at 6. Orange folder. And then CAD news later on. So yeah, not really any news. Hopefully we can come down, create a bit of support, and then continue to push. Oh yeah, your longs from the other day, from yesterday. Yeah, they must have played out nice. Where was that around? That was around here or something. So yeah, well done. That would have been good. And then yeah, so hopefully we can come back, create a bit of support, and then continue bullish. In terms of gold, you may be thinking why I didn't take sells, but it's because of the daily. So the daily yesterday closed bullish, no bottom wick, but it still closed bullish. Okay, so that means there's a good chance today we can at least fill this wick and continue bullish, especially if we start breaking these highs. But if you come down to the lower time frames, this hourly I just realized closed no bottom wick, so we could reverse here. But yeah, the reason I didn't take sells here was because we didn't have a range 2. I mean, technically you could argue that this is a range 1 and this is a range 2, but I wanted to see price push, create a range 1, came down, and then create a range 2 and then continue. And you could take the sell on the breakout there. But yeah, because for me, this is all just one big range. So I decided it's still very early as well. It wasn't even pre-London. Plus, I don't think I would have entered anyway because we barely created a top wick and the stops were 31 pips. So interesting start to gold. We'll see where this goes. I'm not too keen on taking any fake outs because of yesterday's daily close. I think we pretty much closed doji, so it's hard to sort of pick a direction on gold. Same with GJ, to be honest. It's hard to pick a direction. So I'd rather wait for breakouts today. But yeah, in terms of where I'm going to look for buys, simply above here, we got clean range above here. And in terms of sells, we'll see how this range 2 forms. But we do have clean range below here, 20 pips. So potentially if we form a resistance here by closing bullish, and if we then close below here, I can start looking for buys, which we will because it's closing in 50 seconds. So yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes. What's GJ doing? GJ's still sort of chilling. So yeah, I'll show you guys that loss I took on gold because it's an interesting trade. I took it. Where did I take it? Let's have a look here. Yeah. Yeah, so I took it on this 15-minute breakout here. No, this was today. It was here. So yeah, I took it on this 15-minute breakout right here, which we talked about in the session. If we get buys above there, maybe later on. We took it here. It was an impulse entry. So it looked like this because the 1 hour had already created a bottom wick. We had stops below here. And TP was the wick fill, I think. So yeah, you had 30-minute had already pushed down, created a bottom wick, and then you had a 15 closure above there. The only thing I was hesitant about was the last 15 of the hour and the 4 hour. So it was definitely a riskier trade because the 4 hour was closing. But I thought 20 pip range, I've seen these a lot and they often continue quite nicely, especially on gold. But as soon as this 15 closed back below, we closed position because that meant the 30-minute and the hourly didn't close above and rejected this level. So there's no point holding on. So we took a small loss, managed it nicely, minus 13 pips. So yeah, in terms of, yeah, happy with it. I mean, we're gonna lose. It's just part of the game. But yeah, happy with how that turned out, to be honest. Here's the trade. So yeah, 15-minute buy, breakout, and then Took a bit of slippage there as well. But yeah, if you look at the gold chart, to be honest, we've been doing decent. I mean, lots of wins, lots of big wins. But yeah, that's our first loss in quite a while, which I don't mind. But yeah, they're going to happen, you know. I realized yesterday, I was lying in bed and I was like, literally the only thing that can stop me from sort of just continuing to grow in trading is, one, I stop putting in the work every day, which means that I stop doing simulations. I stop looking back at my trades and figuring out, was this the right trade? I stopped journaling the little things. I stopped doing that consistently. Two is I let losses ruin me, as in I take a loss and then for some reason I do something stupid. And three is I just take trades that I'm not supposed to, which sort of falls under the first and the second. But I was thinking about it, and I suggest you should do the same. Think about it in terms of, okay, I've got a strategy that I know works because I've seen it happen sort of in my backtesting, in my simulation, and even in my live trading. So going forward, what could happen that could stop that? What could happen that could stop my growth? And I realized it's three things. It's I stop showing up every day, stop being consistent, and two, I let a loss or losses sort of get me off track, make me take stupid trades, over risk, whatever, and that's it. So yeah, when you put it in paper like that, and you tell yourself there's only a few things that could stop me from getting to where I want to go, and you start realizing it's not that hard to just focus up and get it done. But yeah, I'm excited for the year to come, that's for sure. Very excited for trading. All right, so let's see what Goldie does here, because we do now have an hourly top wick that's formed, which gives us our stops, and we now have a range 2. If we break below here, we got uninterrupted 20-ish pips. We got a nice wick fill to work with, so let's see. GJ, ooh. Yeah, I think especially now I'm just gonna wait with GJ. I want to see a bigger retest. 2.5 pip bottom wick is just not enough for me. Unfortunately. In terms of sells for GJ, we're gonna need a range 2. I was thinking about it the other day. It was like, if we have a doji candle, it's better off to honestly just wait for a range 2 in either way, even if buys or sells. But we already have range 2 on buys. So yeah, in terms of sells, we'll see if we get a reversal maybe. But realistically, the only good sell level is below here, because that's 15 pips. Maybe you can get something there. This 12, 10, 9. Yeah, so realistically below here is where I'm gonna look for sells. Am I able to talk about the daily on gold? Are there wick rejections or opportunity for wick fills in your opinion? Daily on gold. So this is looking good. Daily on gold. Yeah, so I was actually looking at this as an interesting point to bring out, because although the dailies are bullish, they're very they're bullish, that's for sure. But if you look at the weekly and you sort of put it all together, it does overall look very bearish. Because think about it this way. The weekly closed back in range here. now we have 3 days of pretty weak daily bullish candles. Okay. That doesn't mean that these wicks won't get filled, because technically price could, the thing about wicks is price can push all the way to the top of the wick and still reject. Okay. It's only when it starts breaking the highs that there's a piece of evidence to suggest that we're going to continue bullish. So yeah, I mean, when you look at it like this, it does look like a rejection. Okay. But the point about trading is you don't want to try and predict. You just want to see, okay, yesterday closed bullish. So what's my plan? I need to wait for range 2 to take sells. Even though it looks like overall this market may go for sells and it may flip later on in the week, right now all I can see is yesterday closed bullish. Okay, so I'm gonna have a bullish bias today to fill this wick, and that's all I'm looking at. But yeah, if I just had to look at this and I had to take a trade based on life or death, from what I've seen, I would take sells, you know, because you got the weekly hasn't created a bottom wick. We're flipping daily. You got 3 very weak bullish candles. You got no bottom wick here, but yeah, that's just one of the things about my system, I guess. I need to wait for those daily candles. But yeah, it does look like more rejections than it does wick fills, because wick fills tend to be, the body of a candle tends to be bigger than the wick in the direction you're traveling in. So like this, if this was a bullish candle, like the body is, let's say 180 pips and the wick is 140 pips, decent chance this is going to be a wick fill. Because on the hourly, if this is the daily, on the hourly, or the 4 hour, it's going to look like this. And there's your closure, like that. So chances are you're going to come up and retest these highs. Whereas if it's a rejection, like this daily on gold, let me just see what gold's doing. Hold on. All right, we're good. And GJ's pushing. Where was I? Yeah, so what did I do with that drawing just now? Did I delete it? Yeah, I deleted it. But yeah, I think you get the point. How do you classify a top bottom wick objectively? For me, I like about more than 5-6 pips on GJ and gold, both, but about 10 pips is what I like. But it's also just sort of, you got to think in terms of, I don't know whether you want to call it liquidity or not, but if you think about it in terms of this, we haven't had price pull back in a long time. Okay, so let's say, for instance, the gold trade I took yesterday here, like this 30 didn't really have a bottom wick, okay, on the trade I was taking, but I still took it because the hourly had a massive bottom wick. Okay, so let's say this was the hourly and the previous hourly had a massive bottom wick and the next hourly then pushed. That's still okay, because I'm looking for that sort of retest, that liquidity, that whatever you want to call it. I'm looking for that pullback and then a continuation, because remember, the market moves like this, and then just before it pushes, it tends to go like this and then continues. Very common market move. So like if this is on the 5-minute, obviously the 30 or whatever is going to look like this. Closure. You get your wick. Maybe a closure looks like this. And then the next candle is going to come down to create this, and that's your wick, and then you flip bullish. But it's hard to sort of put a number on it, number on a bottom wick or a top wick, because it's more sort of just looking at the market and realizing, okay, there hasn't been a retest in a long time. Okay, so I need this hourly to create a big bottom wick or a big top wick to show that the market is rejecting that level and continuing. Because a wick is both a rejection of a level, because you're pushing and then rejecting that level, and it's also an indication of price sort of pulling back, sort of either stopping orders out, grabbing liquidity, or just having a lower high or higher low or whatever, and then continuing. But if I'm honest, I guess you just sort of get it from looking at charts for a while. You sort of start to see, okay, we haven't had a bottom wick, we haven't retested in a while, so I'm just going to wait. And you're going to miss out as well. There's going to be times where, like here, price may just continue to push bullish, but I'd like to see a bigger bottom wick. Simple as that. Especially for here, the 4 hour hasn't created anything. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard to sort of put a pip on it, but generally it's about 5 to 10 is where I'm happy in most circumstances. But yeah, what we can do now with GJ is simply wait for price to push, come back, create support by closing bearish, and then continuing. Or if this 30 is about to close in 2 minutes, if this 30 closes with a wick fill, and then the next 30 comes down, creates a wick, and then pushes, that could be a potential trade. But yeah, currently for June, we're sitting on, what are we sitting on? 7.26%. So quite happy with that. Been a good month. And like I said, I think if I just stick at it, it will just grow from here. You know, there's no reason for me to doubt that things are going to go slower or backwards. I mean, obviously the market's going to change and I'm going to have slower months, faster months, whatever. But, you know, when you show up every day, you do the work, there's no reason to have any sort of, oh, I'm due for a loss, or I've taken, how many wins? I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row, minus break evens. You can't start thinking, okay, it's time to have a loss. Like, you can't start thinking like that. You just got to say, I just need to take this next trade. Whatever happens, happens. And I know I'll make money. So yeah, let's see if we can get a bottom wick. Otherwise, we'll just wait for a pullback. Did I take GJ sells today? What, during Asia? No, I didn't trade Asia. But let's have a look. Could you have taken anything in Asia today? So here's Asia. GJ didn't really do much. Gold had a nice push during Asia, which I would have taken if I was trading. Closure above here, you do have no top wick, but it's only a 30-minute closure, so it's not the end of the world. So yeah, if you push down and flip, I mean, it'd be interesting how that would have played out. Whether, if the only way I would have taken this, if this came down first, created a 5-pip wick, and then flipped. And stops would be the previous 15 probably. Could even go. Is this the hourly? That's actually a really good example of bottom wicks versus no bottom wicks. So this hourly didn't have a bottom wick, okay? But the previous hourly and the previous one before that had massive bottom wicks. So you got to think, okay, there's a level here. There's probably a lot of orders sitting right here with stops sort of below these lows. And I don't know, I'm not sure if it's liquidity or whatever, but price pushes, rejects this level. Okay, so price sort of tries to come down, rejects that level, and then you push. So it's like no bottom wick on the hourly, okay, but we have a massive bottom wick on the 2 candles before that. So yeah, you just got to think about sort of where the market is, how it's behaving, and stuff like that. But oh, on my screen. No, I did not take GJ sells today. Where can you see it on my screen? Oh, right. Yeah. No, that's from yesterday. Pardon me. My bad. Yeah, so now we're just chilling, seeing what happens here. Gold could come down or come up. It's hard to tell at this stage. A little bit of a head and shoulders. So maybe we break below, who knows? But let's see. But yeah, I'd be surprised if by the end of the week we haven't filled this wick. Oh, there's my wick that I was talking about. So now GJ, oh, very tempting. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the next hourly. If the next hourly comes down, creates a bottom wick, then yeah, maybe we can look at some sells. What would be great like perfect. If the 30 can close something like this, then we'd have a head tail, which is just sort of an entry. So it'd be a 30-minute breakout with a head tail entry. So then the next hourly could come, wick down, and then flip. And as soon as you break these highs, that's an entry. Easily like my favorite entry. Just works so well all the time. And Goldie, we got clean range. We'll have to have a look at this level. It's getting in the way. May just honestly be safer to have sells below there, because you still have almost 20 pips down to there. You can use this wick fill as your break even. We'll see. Yeah, I find it crazy how the first 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks of these streams, we took 2 trades and they were both losses. And then in almost a week, almost 2 weeks, a week, we've taken 3 trades, all W's. So just goes to show there's going to be times when the market's just shite and it doesn't work for you, but it may work for others. And it's just part of it. Let's see if anything happened. Not really. Does anyone trade fundamentals in the chat? I want to learn how to actually trade fundamentals. I think it'd be pretty cool just to know. But I mean, for my system, there's no point really knowing it, because I'm in and out of trades in 10-15 minutes, but it would be cool to know, I guess. Looking back on my monthly trades, are there some ones I wish I didn't take? To be honest, I don't know if I can even remember all of them. What was this? There were 2 trades at the start, which I took on stream, which I should add these to the all trades. I don't know why I haven't, but yeah. Honestly, I can't even remember these trades. I'll have a look. Thing is, I'm starting to take quite a lot of trades, so it's hard to sort of... I look at them the week of and then completely forget about them. But nothing stands out. I don't think there's trades I've taken recently where I've been like, I couldn't have taken this. Because one of my sort of rules I've not rules, I guess, but just sort of things I do is once I start feeling uneasy about a trade, I just close, because it means that it doesn't follow the plan. Yeah, that's the power of your intuition. It often knows when you're doing the right thing and when you're doing the wrong thing. And once you start feeling you're worrying so much about the outcome of a trade, you're worrying, is this going to win, is this going to lose, what's going to happen, like probably a sign that you're not following your plan. Because if you're following your plan, you honestly wouldn't care. You'd just be like, it's just another trade, you know? But yeah, nothing stands out. But I'm sure there are some issues. The one from yesterday was a bit iffy. I don't regret taking it, but when I look at it now, I'm like, was it really worth to take the last 15 of the 4 hour when you could have just waited? I mean, there was range above here to trade as well. So yeah, I think maybe I got a bit of FOMO, but in saying that, it did follow the plan. It's just, yeah, the only reason I somewhat regret taking it is because it was the 4 hour close. So you may as well just have waited for the 4 hour to close above, and then you can take the next candle. But I mean, a lot of times I've seen this last 15 just push to fill a range, but who cares, you know? It's done now. It's just another trade. But overall, I think I've had in terms of my growth, not sort of number wise, but trading wise, sort of understanding the market, understanding how it works and all that, I've had a good month. And number wise, I've had a good month as well. But yeah. Nice closure here on the 15. But I'm going to wait for the 30. Yeah, so now we're forming a nice range 2 right here. So if we get a breakout here, good chance we're going to continue. In my opinion. Yeah, so this is a very nice candle now. Especially if you close above here and then break the highs. Quite a nice trade, but I'm just going to wait for the hourly. But yeah, there you can see we filled the wick. Price gravitates to areas where there hasn't been a retest in a while. Most of the time. It could have just continued, but most of the time price goes back to areas where it should have gone before. You've purchased the book The Courage to Be Disliked? Yeah, it's a good book. I haven't even finished it, but yeah, great read so far. But I am a bit of a reading nerd, I guess. So let me know what you think. But it's a good book, I think. I'll be back in a sec. Ooh. So if Goldie can close below now, that'll be great. And GJ. Ooh, this could be interesting. So GJ 30-minute closure above this level. We would have an hourly closure above. I'm not too worried about this. Especially if the next hourly can create a bottom wick. But let's see. We can take, even if this comes down, like all the way, we can just take a play when we close bullish, probably on the 30 or the hourly. Because you have clean range. Oh yeah, right here. If you close bullish here, you got support, and then break the highs. Nice fill to the top. We'll see where this closes. Yeah, pretty chill day, I think. Nothing crazy happening, or could be a good day. This music is so much better than the lo-fi girl live I had before. It's still not great, but creating a career you wish to pursue full time, yes, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I think if I keep going the way I am now, I don't think I will take too long. I mean, that may sound cocky, but I don't know. I think I'm putting in the work every day. It's just, you just need time, I guess. Time to build money, time to build capital, to continue to learn and grow. But I mean, the thing is, if you show up every day, you put in the work, there's no reason you can't do it. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to do full time. But I think once I get to a stage where I'm consistently pulling out chunks of money from the market, I'll just start making other businesses the entire time and just use trading as a source of money. Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to start and stuff, but yeah, trading is first. But I still have to do my uni degree, which is an absolute freaking pain in the ass, but hopefully we can get that done soon. But yeah, hate my uni degree. I think if I hadn't discovered trading, I would like it a bit more. But at this stage, it is so annoying. The more we stick around, the more market cycles we will experience. Yeah. Just reminding me, you're talking about the more you stick around. This book has my favorite quote in it about trading. Here it is. If you dig deep with an internal sense of confidence, you'll find you can't lose. And it's like, it's so true. If you just keep going and you know you have like some confidence, there's no reason you'll lose. The only way you'll lose is if you stop. It may take years, but I mean, when you can have that mindset of like, the literal only thing that can stop me from getting to where I want to be is if I quit, if I like stop showing up. And when you put it like that, it's very easy. All you got to do is just put in the work, put in the effort. And if you stay around long enough and you believe you can do it, you'll do it. Bit of motivation Tuesdays. Not that I'm in a position to give motivation, but just sharing my experience. Which book that is? Trade with Passion and Purpose. Another good book. It's a bit lengthy and a bit, if I'm honest, it's a bit sort of, has a lot of basic stuff in it, like be disciplined, stay patient, whatever. But there are a few really good gems in there. Right, so gold's coming back. In order to take buys, I need to see a structure form on the 30. So I need to see a bearish close to show that we're forming resistance and then a break back above that resistance. Because right now we're just creating a low, pushback, and continuation. We need a resistance to form and then a break above. Or we just wait for buys above. Wow, GJ. Big rejection. So we'll see where this closes on GJ. Either way, we're still going to have to wait for an hourly bottom wick. But we got a nice wick fill. Let's see. But yeah, you can see now we've had that big pushback. Although on the hourly, we still haven't quite created a big bottom wick. You can see we've had that. The market's had that pushback now. So yeah, we'll see. We still need to create a bottom wick though on the next hourly. And that's more just sort of one of my rules. I need to have wicks on the hourly. Goldie pushing. So technically a bit of a fake out. But I mean, it's barely a consolidation in the first place. Yeah, not a very convincing fake out. So we got a minute and 40 seconds till this hourly closes. If we get hourly closures above, that'll be good. So no news. Ooh, Euro news at 6 actually. So this probably will have a bit of an effect on the market, but nothing big. Can a fake out be 2 candles outside the range? Well, technically yes, because when you think about it, this will then just be an hourly fake out, like that. But yeah, it can be. I've taken fake outs where it's been 2 candles. But yeah, it's better for one, I think, but when you think about it, it's just a fake out on a higher time frame. But in the hourly here, you can see you don't have any structure that actually faked out from. But yeah, I have taken. Oh, GJ closed below. Wow. Right. So now our buy level moves to there, which I don't mind. And yeah, that looks good. Oops. But yeah, for me, stops are very big, first of all. Technically, I mean, this is a 15-minute breakout. That's the thing, like, it all comes together. Think about it this way, like 30-minute fake out, closure up, back in range. But then you think, how does that even make sense? Like, what is going to show that a fake out is just going to continue price pushing bullish? And then you look on the 15 and you see, okay, we have a 15, we have resistance created right here. And then we go ahead and break above that resistance back into an area with clean range. Plus we've rejected this area. But yeah, for me, I like to wait for the 30, and this just wasn't a nice fake out zone for me. I'm gonna type out 4 separate lines below for music. I've tried typing the full, and for some reason I don't think I have any filters. Is that a YouTube channel? No copyright sounds. This one? Anything is, do they have live? Anything is, it's like only 4 minutes long, so I'm gonna have to put a playlist together. I'm sure they're good, but let's have a look. I have no clue what this is. Yeah, a bit more upbeat, which is good. Yeah, I'll have a look, and tomorrow I'll put together a YouTube playlist maybe. What's going on right now on your trading? What do you mean? I'm not trading anything right now, no. Okay, so this is pretty decent. Yeah, no, thanks for the suggestion. I'll have a look at it tonight. So this is pretty decent, isn't it? We get a closure above here. Created a bottom wick. About 25-ish, 24 pip stop. What am I looking for? I'm looking for potential buys on GJ if we close above here. And potential buys as well on gold if we close above here. But yeah, let's see. Right now, we're just waiting until this 15 closes, at least. But here she goes. Yeah, so nice support created now. Goldie, wow. How big is stops? 28. This will be interesting. Do I have a broker directly to TradingView? No. I trade using MT5. Yeah, so this could be off the rip if we close above. We'll see. Because we've created a bottom wick. Even if the next 15 comes down and creates a bottom wick, there's a good chance if we continue bullish that will respect. Oh, calm down. If this is too big, as in the stops are too big, we can wait for the 30 to get a better entry. Or if the 15 comes down, creates a nice bottom wick and then flips, you can look at that. But yeah, don't want it much bigger. TradingView just for charting, yeah. Yep. I don't know why MT5 is even like still a thing. I mean, it's so bad. I like it, but I also just think it could be so much better. But I guess can't really complain. Like, it seems like it's made in the 80s and just never been updated. MT4 especially. But they're finally letting go of MT4. I reckon one of them will close above. You don't think MT6 is coming? Yeah. There's a business idea for anyone. Make a better MT5. To be fair, MT5 is good. It's just feels so outdated. Maybe because it's all Windows based and I use a Mac. No offense, but Windows just feels older, I reckon. Nice daily candle on GJ. We've got 4 minutes till closure. If we close above, probably have buy stops at the break of this high. And if we close somewhere like above here, it may just be off the rip. If the stops aren't too big. If anyone has TradingView Premium, tell us what's to the left here. But I think it's pretty clean. It looks pretty clean, I guess. You've got your broker connected to the TV. So it's a real account you're trading? Yeah, I'm trading my own money, not a funded account. It's nothing big, but yeah, real account, real money. Actually, I think I'll do a challenge sooner or later, and I'll trade it on here publicly. But yeah, I do have my own account with IC markets. Wow, big rejection. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to get this 4-hour bottom. But 2 minutes, still a long time. Yeah, so we're just chilling. Didn't get the closures, I don't think. I mean, 30 seconds, who knows? But we just wait now. I don't mind because that means we'll get a 30 closure if we close above. And we have a nice bottom wick. GJ and Goldie, we should get a better stop if we close above now because we'll have a 30. We can use a bottom wick. So let's see. Definitely a bit nicer that we get a 30 close. If we get a close. And in terms of sells, yeah, we need a range too. So I'm not going to take sells below here. Because yesterday we closed bullish, barely, but we did. If anything, you'd wait for range to either buys or sells because it's pretty much doji. But we can see buys, we have lots of ranges to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you break out here, good chance of continuing. But here for sells, you just have 1. Okay, so I'm going to wait a bit to see a range 2 form. Plus, this range to the left isn't very clean. So no indicators? No. No indicators. Nothing against indicators. Not one of those people that hates on indicators, but yeah, I just don't use them. Price just makes sense to me. It's just how I trade. It's really stupid that people hate on indicators. I mean, I used to hate on them. Because it's like, oh, you don't understand price. Like, you don't know what's going on. But it's like, dude. There are guys, you just use indicators and make way more money than I do. So, and way more money than the people that say don't use indicators. So just shut up. Pretty sure banks use indicators. Like most of the professional bank traders use like MACD, moving averages and shit. Pretty sure. But then again, those guys make like 5% a year. No, I'm kidding. I don't know how much they make. But on average, I would say successful retail traders make more than the average professional trader at a bank. There's so much like rules and stuff you have to follow at a bank. Whereas retail is just closures above here, buy. You know? But then again, those guys are probably dealing with millions of dollars, whereas I'm trading my childhood savings. I think it'd be a cool experience to work at a bank as a trader, but maybe that's the last resort. They say they control the price. Yeah. I don't know. The thing with trading, like the Forex market, that people don't realize is 90 to 95% of the movement that occurs is just due to utility transactions. For instance, Australia buying US dollar to buy oil from the US and exchanging their Australian dollars to US dollar. So orders get filled on US dollar and then yeah, that's what most people don't understand. Most of the movement in the Forex market is just utility. So countries exchanging money to buy something in a different currency. So most of this movement is no one cares. Like they exchange their dollars to yen or British pound or euro and they don't care where it goes because they're just like, I need to pay for this thing. So I don't care what happens now. I just need to pay for it. And that's what most people don't understand. So it's like, yes, the banks control money. I don't know, but Most of the movement is just utility. Let's see. There was a good video on it. Yeah, so FX swaps 50%. Oh no, that's not the right chart. I don't know where I saw it. I saw it on a video, but it seems pretty legit. What do I think about gold move now? I think I'm still gonna wait for a breakout. I've taken 5 trades so far. Which ones were the losers and which were the winners? You can see it here. Trades on stream. We had 2 losses to start and 3 wins recently. I can't remember. They were quite a while back. I don't know where they are. Yesterday we took... Where did we take buys yesterday? Sells, pardon me. Here. The break below here. Price continued down and we got this move. Other than that, I can't remember, honestly. $19.44, $19.48. After the breakout, I mean, I don't know if it would go that far. I'll be out before or in around this area. If it goes, it could just break out and reject. I don't know. Yeah, I don't hold my trades that long. Yeah, if we close below here, I'd want to see a 30 bottom wick. Pardon me, if we closed above. I don't mind this hourly, but yeah, I'd like to see a 30 bottom wick before continuing. Just sort of rejecting this level. What we got? Nice range to the top. And yeah, GJ, I'm not too concerned about the next 30 creating a top bottom wick if we close above, because we've already created a nice bottom wick on the hourly. So we'll see if we break these highs, we can start looking. We get a closure and then break the highs. We'll see. is that equal to someone looking at the 1 hour, 15 and 5 minute? If we sort of scale the time frames down, technically it is, yeah. But you got to remember, as you move down in time frames, sort of more towards 5 minutes, 1 minute, price becomes more and more chaotic, more and more random. It becomes less structured, less repetitive, and less ordered, and more jumpy, chaotic, and random. So, I mean, technically, yes, it still works. 1 minute is just, I don't know. 1 minute's a bit dodgy. I've never really, like, I don't think it's a very viable long-term trading option. Do we close above? No, not closed yet. But yeah, technically it could work. You should go look at Don Vo. He streams on YouTube and he enters using the 5 minute, and he still uses daily 4 hour, 1 hour, 30, 15 and 5. And he enters using the 5 minute, and he's got like a 80% win rate, really good. But yeah, it depends. I like the 15 and the 30 as my entry because it's a bit less intense. It's not like 5 minute closure, what's happening, we need to decide right now. It's more just like we can look at it, we can see price, what's happening, okay, closures above, then we start looking at something. But technically it could work. I don't know. The best way to figure that out is just go and test it. Like, look back at the chart, see how the 5 minute works, whatever. Okay. So Goldie closures above. Let's see what happens here. I'll wait for a bottom wick. But we do have a nice wick fill. Let's see. You use 1 minute to scalp, but you trade futures. That's fine. There's no wrong way, right way. Trade however you like. That's just my view. If I ever get FOMO, I look at the 1 minute. Just like zoom in. What's happening? It's pretty fun to watch. Bull price respect. Let's see. Big rejection. Like, if you were trading the 1 minute, you could potentially have buys here. With a 6 pip stop to a 20 pip. Yeah. But it's like there's so much random movements. As you scale down to the lower time frames, the accuracy of the things you think work decreases, from my experience. So like closures above, it decreases accuracy as you go lower in time frames. All right, so we rejected again. Right, so there's the closure. GJ had a bit of a pushback. But yeah, for me to take sells, I need to see another 15 pullback and then a closure below that. Gold buys could still be on. Bit annoying now because we have an hourly closing. But let's see. There's nothing we can do now. Just gotta wait. Nice price action on GJ. We close above. Pretty slow session. There hasn't been much going on. We had the gold push down. Start with 25 pips, but then do I only trade Forex? If so, are you planning to expand? I have some shares, but yeah, I just trade Forex. And no, I don't think I'll expand to anything else in the next few years. I'll just stick to Forex. Maybe later, I don't know. Maybe I'll get into crypto. Who knows? Never really understood crypto. Still weird. I guess I'm behind the times, but it always confuses me. Is trading my full-time job? No, I'm still a student. So I still go to university. And I have a job as a cricket coach. Just casual job. But yeah, hopefully soon we can get it going. But yeah, I'll probably finish my degree first. Probably. Oh, slow day. Yeah, usually when Asia moves like this, like on gold, London tends to be quite lethargic. Have I taken any payouts? Yeah, I was talking about this the other day, so 7 months ago, I think, I got an FTMO challenge, and then got one payout of like 3% or something on a $100,000 account, and then lost it next month. So yeah, that was my one and only payout on a funded account. In terms of my own trading account, I'm not withdrawing right now. Just growing it. Because I'm not, like, I'm fortunate enough that I still live with my parents, so I'm not, you know. I'm only 20, so I'm like, I don't need heaps of money because I was lucky enough to be living in Australia where a minimum job like is enough to, like, my coaching is my only income at the moment, bar trading, but I don't withdraw from my trading account. So I get a bit from YouTube, a bit from, like, I did a bit from my Instagram, but not anymore. So yeah, living the student life, I guess. But yeah, I probably should withdraw from my own account. I've worked hard, but there's no real need to. Alright, so we're just chilling right now. I want to play some chess. Don't laugh at my chess skills, because I suck. Man got scared. Wow. GJ. Big pullback. So yeah, nothing I can do here. I'm just going to wait. But likely, like I said, this 4 hour no bottom wick. You had lots of hourlies with no bottom wick. pretty much like we said, the when GJ has broken out of all-time highs previously, it's gone a bit and then came right back. So yeah, it's weird how that happens. All the time it's broken new highs, it's gone and then came right back. So that's interesting. I'm impressed as to how much you know at my age. Thank you. Well, to be fair, I started looking at trading when I was like 18. Probably even before that. Like 17. And I've been like at the charts or like trading pretty much every day for a year and a half. At least 4 hours a day, every weekday. So it's like, you learn pretty quick, I guess. Plus, you know, I do a lot of back testing, a lot of sims. But yeah, very glad and very grateful that I discovered trading. I saw a tweet the other day that like hit home, and it was, the first time you look at a chart, you have no clue how much like it will be part of your life. Like right now, I can confidently say trading is probably the most important thing professional wise in my life. I mean, definitely professional wise. Obviously, except for, you know, my friends and the people around me. But trading is very important to me. And when you first start out, you have no idea how important the charts and the whole trading is going to become to you. I guess it's like that with everything, but yeah. Like I love trading. Whenever I think about trading, I don't know, can't stop talking about it or thinking about it. Like sometimes I'm just walking around and I'm thinking, oh, if that broke that, then it means that and this, and yeah. It's interesting how something just like trading can be quite a big part of your life, whatever it is you're doing. You might have to call out the drop. What drop? Drop on GJ? Okay, let's go again. Sorry, I'm just rambling today. Rambling my thoughts. You think trading is the best job or business because you can scale endlessly? Yeah. I challenge you to write down, if you can write down right now, why you want to be a trader. Most people don't know. They say it's because of freedom, because of I don't want to work a 9 to 5, but that's not really the reason. There's a much deeper reason for most people why they want to trade. I challenge you right now, ask yourself, why do I want to be a trader? And try come up with a reason that isn't money. It's hard. It took me a while to figure out. But yeah, I think that's something you got to figure out for yourself. But once you find your understanding of why you want to be a trader, and it's not just because I want to make money on my own terms, which is a valid reason, but I don't think it's a powerful reason, then that's when you fall in love with trading, I think. Oh, that's my bad. Okay, is there anything I need to look at? No. We can play chess in peace. What's everyone's rapid rating on chess? 'Cause mine's terrible. Anything else I can do? No, I gotta do it. I got you on the money part, but being real, it's just a way to make money without a high risk of failure. Yeah, and that doesn't mean it's not a valid reason, but for me, when I discovered sort of why I want to be a trader, and not just because of money, was when I couldn't get enough of it. You love seeing how the charts move, and yeah, that's a good reason. Not that one reason's better than the other, but I think that's part of it for me as well. I really enjoy the way that the markets move and trying to understand it, which I guess is a big part of it for me. For me, it was like I understood that trading was something which is it's like beaten me down a lot. Not badly, I mean, it's something which I've failed at quite a lot. So for me to succeed in trading, it's something I have to conquer. It's something I have to master. It's something I have to be able to come to the charts and be like, this is my thing. Like, I know what's going on. I know what's happening. I can walk into a room and teach people how this works, what's going on. I can tell my children, you know, I struggled in trading for a long time, but I kept going. And I mastered it. Maybe not mastered it, because I don't think you can ever master it. But yeah, that's probably the biggest reason for me. It's something I want to conquer. It's something I want to, you know, show myself and other people that you can just do it. There's no reason you can't do shit, you know? And when I realized that, obviously I have the money, you know, the idea that you can make money from anywhere, you can travel, you got freedom. That's great, but it won't get you through those times when shit hits the fan. I'm not focusing on this chess game at all. But yeah, that's what it was for me. It's also that I actually really love trading. Like, I really enjoy trying to understand the markets and how it all works and moves and all that. But yeah, it was more something I really wanted to overcome, or something I didn't want to give up on and didn't want to let it beat me. Because that's really how you're going to fail, if you let trading beat you. I'm about to get smacked here. GJ's dropping. Not quite. Ugh, I've ruined myself. Let's go on a bit of a counter. Oh, shh. That's the end. That is the end. No, I'm done. I've cooked it. No, I give up. I'm done. I can't be bothered. That's why I have a really bad rapid rating. Because I start a game and then just can't be bothered anymore. And I suck. So yeah, the plan with GJ, obviously we've got the hourly closing soon. So either we can wait for a 30-minute to close bullish, and then if there's enough range, potentially look at buys to the top, but I doubt we'll close bullish and still have enough range. So it's probably just going to be buys above, or I can wait for a range 2 on the 15-minute. So we have range 1, range 2, and then if we have clean candles below here, depending on where that second range forms, I can potentially look for sells. Yeah. But yeah, sells will most likely not be until below here, even if a second range forms, and it's just because not really clean range. And gold, yeah, we just gotta wait for something to happen. Trading has helped you to be conscious of the economy overall. Yeah, that's a valid point. I don't think it has for me, to be honest. The truth is, like, I feel most traders don't know shit about the economy. We just know candles do this, we do this, you know? I mean, that's me at least. Even though I study economics, I don't really know what the hell's going on. I just look at the candles, I say, I know what happens when these candles do this, so this is what I'm going to do. What that means for the economy, I have no clue. Be back. Yeah, pretty slow day. London, at least. You know what I'm excited for? This. I don't even know if this is actually real. There's full-on analysis. Has the upper hand on Zuck in terms of sheer physical size. That'd be pretty funny. I'm pretty sure Dana White tweeted. Wait, hold on. Pretty sure he tweeted like, this is legit. Yeah. No, not that. Seems pretty legit. I actually don't know who would win. Because Zuck does jiu-jitsu. I've seen him spar with like Lex Friedman. But I don't know, Elon Musk. I feel like he's just got some weird shit up his sleeve. I don't know. Whip out like an Iron Man suit or something. That'd be funny to watch though. Alright, so that was the hourly close. Goldie rejected and GJ. So I'll probably wait for this 30 to close, and then if nothing happens, we'll call it a day. Maybe if this 15 does absolutely nothing, we'll see. You are short on gold. Yeah, from a sort of pattern slash just looking at pure price action, I can see why. Yeah, for me, I'm just gonna wait for a break. How much am I up for the day? I have not taken anything. I'm up 0% for the day. The 1H wick fill looks decent if it weren't for those previous rejections, yeah. On gold. Yeah, it's not bad, but without a closure above, it doesn't really make sense. Because without a closure, it's just a rejection, you know? Oh, 3 wins are for all of the streams so far. Let's do the Wordle. It's that time. Ooh. No. Table? Don't have an L. How can there be a T and a B, but not start with either of them? It's a tough one. A Jesus hell. does that even mean? Okay, so ABO. What? A bunt? Can't even think of it. Oh, about. Nice. That was nice. Easy. Okay, so yeah, we can see we're holding this support here on GJ. So technically now we have a range 2. Below here. Because we have range 1. Depending on where this closes, potentially range 2. And then what's gold doing? Gold is doing nothing. Wow. You got a big stop. I'd much rather wait for a 30 closure above. Got a nice structure. Technically, we could take this, or I could. If we have stops below the previous hourly low, then even if this next hourly wicks down, it should respect as long if we're going to continue bullish. So let's see where we close. Twenty seconds. Alright, so yeah, I'll wait for this 30 to close, see what happens. Maybe we get closures above. Let's see. But yeah, after this, I'll be done for London. Yeah, so we'll see where this 30 closes, but it's not looking bad. Nice hourly shape. Oh, we do have 4 hour. Doesn't look bad, but we're not gonna have 1 hour, yeah. Bit hard. So yeah, hopefully there's a few things that can happen here. Either we close above with a wick. So it looks like this. Oops. Something like this. Then we can take the flip if we get a bottom wick to fill this range. And we can go break even or TP here, depending on how big it is, to continue. Or it could break and close just normally like this. At that point, you may as well just wait for the break above. You don't need a massive wick, and you can use the previous lows as your stops. You take buys on the break of the high to continue. Or if you wick down really big and then flip, then you could potentially use that wick as your stop. But it all depends on how the new candle opens. If we even close above. Because it's still a while. Use dark mode, please. Oh, I've had so many people tell me they don't like light mode. Yeah, maybe I will. I was dark for like 2 years almost, and I was like, I need to change up. And I like the light. But I know you guys can't see it as well. But it's a big thing changing your chart colors. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. No. Maybe in a few weeks. I'll change it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll even take this. So you got the 4-hour closing soon and you have no bottom wick. Hourly. It's one of those iffy ones. I'll see how this closes. If we get a nice wick on the 30-minute, then yeah, potentially. Jump on the buys with you. I think my capital will do sweet nothing. Maybe if we all... No, I'm kidding. I don't want to convince you to take a trade. It's illegal. Always trade at your own risk. That would be pretty cool though, if you had a group of people so big that you could take a trade and price would move as a result. Would be pretty sick. But I feel like you'd need, I don't know. You'd need to take out a entire order block, which is usually billions. What was I about to search? $50 to $500. No, that's BS. That's to start trading. Behind... Oh, wait. Where's a photo of an actual order block? here. So you would need to take out, in order for price to move, you need to take out like one of these, or all of them, I'm not even sure. Here's all the sell order blocks at different spreads. Here's all the buys, and then you would need to fill all of these and then price to jump to the next price. And usually it's crazy, so I don't know. What's happening here? The only thing with gold sells is we have a very big stop. So we need a 30-minute wick. Three minutes, let's see. Yeah, this is London session for GJ. Nice. Nothing. Gold, we had a bit of movement, but not much. No way. Doing stranger things. No. Thought we were gonna get a closure there, but no. So yeah, that is I'm gonna call it there. If this 15 closes above, I would wait for the 4 hour anyway. So yeah, that'll be it for London. We'll come back New York. Plans for New York, obviously buys above here on GJ, and technically we have a range 2. I would like to see a bit more of a range form to the down, but we don't have clean area below here anyway, so I'd wait for here regardless. And yeah, like if this 15 closes above, I'd wait for the next 15 anyway, because then you get the 4-hour close and you can wait for a wick and then a flip. But likely, I think later in the day, I'm just going to wait for a new break of the high if I miss this, which is fine. So yeah, that's the plan. In terms of Goldie, we can potentially look for sells around these areas. Just need to be careful. If I'm looking at this level, need to be careful with this. It may even be better just to hold sells until below there. Where's that? 24.69. And buys stay the same. So yeah, simple as that. You got your range 2 on gold because you have this here. And then this here. So yeah, simple as that. It's just a waiting game. You got CAD news later as well, so that could be interesting. Maybe put some volume into the market, but it shouldn't be crazy. It will probably affect gold, but other than that, should be pretty chill NY session. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day and see you again tomorrow. Do it all over again.